Hey everyone. Oh, we heard from Benji. Hi, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. And I thought that I would share with you a little bit about what you do if you received a new maker for the holiday or for some other reason. As you know, I had a maker and it's going back to the shop and I have a replacement one. I did take it out of the box, but and I plugged it in because I figure that's pretty understandable. There's two Hi, Shirley. Okay, I don't know why he wants to play, but there are two plugs in the back. One goes to an electrical current and the other one goes to your laptop or your computer. And I have attached mine to my computer, and I've moved my Explore Air, and if for what it's worth, it's the same connections as if you had an Explore Air 2. So if you're replacing and moving up to the maker, it's just a matter of swapping out the machine and putting in the new one, okay? This machine only opens this way, like this. It's just a open up and you don't have to press any buttons. And so it's really kind of new agey. You will still get this great little spot for putting things in, including a little magnetic strip here that you can put extra blades in. But you'll notice that there are some changes. The biggest one is that there's no dial here. Because when you have a maker, it automatically goes to a custom setting. So you don't have to deal with moving the dial. You just have to choose your setting on your computer or whatever device you're using. And yeah, you can use an iPad, a phone, or a laptop, or a desktop. I'm using the desktop, and I'm going to show you how to download the desktop software as well, okay? It will come with this connected in, but it also comes with your housing with the blade installed. Remember, that's a German carbide blade, and that is very sharp and also will last a very long time. It does depend on how often you use it, but I usually use mine every single day, and I think I don't change the blades. Maybe I change them once a month, and I'm using heavy usage every day. So just so that you know. But what you'll notice here that's different is that this clamp, you still have this clamp A, but clamp B has something like that looks like a clock works. That's so that you can use the adaptive tool system. So this actually matches up with this behind here. So when you're going to use one of these pieces of machinery, it easily connects this way, and there's a lot more torque on these tools than what's in just a regular blade and housing. Okay, and we can talk about that in a little bit, but I also want to just show you. You turn off here, but I want to show you this. You also get this in the box. It's a Let's Get Started box. Pardon me. And let me just open it. So what you'll get in the box is you'll get this material for your first project. You have an Open Me First, a little welcome that tells you where to go to find instructional videos and also who to contact. There's chat and email and the phone number. Hang on to this because you may need to call them. And then a beautiful welcome book that gives you so many important details that I'm probably not going to get to, and a lot of beautiful pictures that will explain what makes the Maker different than any other machine. And then also in this particular one, I got, this may not hold true for everyone, but I got a Rotary Blade, and we've actually worked with the Rotary Blade before. It is part of those adaptive tools. Unfortunately, it does not come off, like in terms of, it's not one of those where you press the plunger and comes off. The Rotary Blade, which is sharp, is part, and so it's going to end up in my toolbox along with all of my other blades and the housings and everything. So once you get this and they want you to do a little project, I'm having trouble fitting another thing into my tool project, to my tool thing. The first thing that they want you to do is they want you to open this up and just sort of go through these cards, which is basically what I'm doing with you. If you've never ever done Cricut Design Space, or you've never downloaded the software, the first thing that you're going to want to do is download the software. And you do that by going to Cricut.com. I'm going to show you. Your incubator. That's adorable, Emmy. Okay, so you're going to go to Cricut.com and you'll choose, I don't know why this keeps moving, but sorry. So when you go to Cricut.com, I'm going to go back one just so you can see how I got here. Okay, so when you come here to their website, the first thing to get this software is you're going to choose Design. Design is at the top right-hand side, right here. So once you click on that, you will come to this page, the one that I was on just before that. And you are going to have a choice of open or download. But if it doesn't exist on your laptop or your computer, you need to download it by pressing download. And then you'll have to install it. Once you do install it, you'll come up with this, or if you already have a Cricut account, you'll be prompted to create an account, which is just basically your email and a password. Okay. And once you get here, and this is after you download the software, you're going to want to Federal Express. You're going to want to go up here to where those three lines are right next to the word canvas, and you are going to do new machine setup. Okay, Teddy. Okay, so when you hit new machine setup, you're going to be prompted to choose which machine. So it gives you a picture of a Maker, but this is for any of the smart cutting machines. That includes all the Explorer machines, and they just want to distinguish between a heat guide setup. Okay, so I'm going to choose that, and then from here, I would choose which machine I was setting up, and in this case, I'm setting up my Maker, and it prompts me through a few things. One, it asks me to leave space behind the machine. Don't push this machine up against the wall, because the mat goes in and out of the machine through the front and the back. And so you could end up with the machine failing or getting jammed if you don't leave a lot of room behind it. Okay. The other thing it tells you is how to connect it with an outlet and connect it to your computer. That's pretty easy to do. Then it goes through an iteration where it's updating. And if you, for instance, have not updated the machine or you're new, a lot of times these machines are made and there have been a number of updates that Cricut wants to make to the machine. So that's what this is for, is updating the machine. So if there's no updated needed, then it just says, great, check, go to the next thing. And then I'm going to want to register. I already have a Cricut ID under my email address, but so it's going to identify me. But if I want to change this, add, for instance, a new email, I could do that here. And then I just hit agree. And then I'm done. I set up my maker and it's registered. So this is where, when you get to this point, this is where that little packet that says materials for your first project comes in, and they give you a few materials in here where you can do a test cut on how to do a test cut. I don't think I need to show you how to do this, but I will tell you that this particular maker that I got, it came with not one, but 2 mats. So I wanted to just show you the different mats that there are, because there's sometimes some confusion about it. So the Maker and the Explorer use the same mats, and there are 4 different kinds of mats. There is the blue one, which is called the light grip mat, and I got this one. This is brand new, and I got that from inside of this box. Then there is the green one that a lot of people are very familiar with. This is a standard grip mat, so it's for like just about everything. And then there's a purple one called a strong grip mat. Okay. And then the 4th one is a fabric grip mat. When you're cutting fabrics, you can only really successfully cut fabrics using the Maker and that rotary tool. You want to use a dedicated, just like when you're sewing, you use a dedicated pair of scissors, you're going to want to use a dedicated mat, because you'll end up with a lot of thread pieces and things like that. That's what this mat does, and it's optimized to work with fabric grip. So I'm going to skip this test cut, and I'm just going to take you to up here again to the upper left-hand side. And I want to just show you about calibration. This is something that when people are brand new, they don't often know about calibration. So the Maker and the Explorer are able to do something called calibrate. It's helping you to do print then cut. So what is print then cut? So if you like, say, to make stickers, or you like some particular graphics, like for me, I love corgis. So I love to take graphics of corgis and turn them into stickers. The print then cut feature is very precise. So in order for it to work correctly, you're going to want to calibrate it. And you do that right up here again in those triple lines. You click on there and you choose calibration, the second thing down. All right. And you're going to choose your calibrations. Now there's 3 types of calibrations for the Maker. There's the Rotary Blade. That's the one that we got with this machine. There's a knife blade, which is another useful blade that's part of the Maker. And then there's the print then cut calibration. I'm just going to take you through the print then cut calibration, because that's the most often used and most misunderstood. So I'm going to just hit this green button that says print, test, cut. Now I have my printer, which is an old HVNV, not calibrated, but connected to my computer. And so I'm going to print from here to my printer. Hopefully, yep, it's going to print. And I'm going to get a mat, because once I have a print, I'm going to take that print out and I'm going to put it through my machine. And all it is, I don't know if you've ever seen this sort of thing before. Oftentimes actual printers use this type of thing, but it's basically a square, several squares actually. But you see there's numbers going across and letters going down. And what this is going to do is when we put it in the machine, which we're going to do on the mat, hold on, stuck to my brand new mat. I'm going to put it on up the upper corner of that mat as best I can. So just like this. And now I'm going to put it in the machine, and it's going to do like a test cut. And that's just to see if maybe it's calibrated or not calibrated correctly. So I'm just going to put that in there. You see that my button is flashing, so I'm just going to go ahead and enter my mat with that test cut piece, and then I'm going to hit that flashing C, okay? And it's going to go through, and it's going to do a couple of cuts, and you'll see that a light comes on. Well, that light is a sensor, and that sensor is used especially for print then cut. So what it's doing is checking to see if that box is correctly going to correctly cut. This is really important if you want to have good cuts all around your printable images. So what you would do when you're doing print then cut is you would select the images that you want to print, and it will appear in a box like this. It prints off of your printer, and then it will, within that box, it will cut around it correctly, So now what it's doing is it's trying to determine, is it in the proper place? And you see it's going around that little box on the inside. And let's see what my computer is telling me. Place the sheet, and then hit continue. So we did, let's see. And we already did that. So we already did it. So I'm pretty sure that we're done, and we can take it out. I want to make sure that it did that. Okay. So right here, you can see that this middle sheet is where it cut around. And it's pretty accurate. It's cutting within that box. If I'm not happy with the way this worked out, I can then put it back into my machine. And hit go. And it's going to do like a cut on the top and a cut on the side. And it's going to ask me where the cut actually is closer to where the line is, if that makes any sense. And this can take a few minutes, and that's okay. But it's just, this is the kind of thing, you don't have to do this all the time. Once, when you first get it, or at least once when you first want to use print then cut. And then if you move it, like, so if you're going to go from one area to the other, or you're moving your house or whatever, this is when you want to calibrate it. It says it's still working, but it already did that sort of square cut, so it's going to do it again. Oh, well. I think that's it. I think I'm done. So it says, does the cut line touch the printed line all the way around? Well, you notice that it did kind of touch it, but up here it sort of kind of didn't. It sort of cut through it. So I'm going to hit on my screen that no, it didn't cut it, because it went around it. So it's going to continue, and it's going to cut those lines that I spoke of at the top and on the side, okay? So it's just going across there. And again, if you don't want to mess with this at first, that's fine. Just like you don't have to do the calibration with the knife blade or the rotary blade until you go to use it. But remember that you do need to calibrate. So in this case, if you ever intend to do print then cut, you do need to calibrate it this one time so that it will definitely cut correctly around your printed images. Okay, so now it's going through that and it's just almost done. When it's done, I'll take it out and I'll show you what it's going to ask me to do. So which cut landed in the right? So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to move you back over here because this is what it's asking me to do. Whoops. It wants me to take a look at all of these lines and determine, did the cut go on the line? Well, obviously in number 1, 2, 3, 4, it's really nowhere near the line. It's starting to get closer, but so the best one is actually number 10. Okay, and then we're going to check the letters. We're going to go down, and I'd say that the best one there is the L. Yeah, so we're going to put in 10 and L. So on the left, here we go. Oh, why? Where did it do that? Oh, I can't believe it went past it. Well, this is where we would put 10 and L in, that's really strange, but there's a little box where you put the 10 and the L in. So, and that is it. That's it for calibrating. So once you get that done, you can go ahead and do print then cut. Yeah, do it after you move, okay? So that you will know when you're doing print then cut that it's going to cut completely around whatever it is that you're going to print. So we're going to X out of here, and now we can get started. Do I want to can you print the cut? You sure you want to cut out? Okay, so getting started, this is what you probably will have if you've never had an account. At the top, there'll be all these empty spaces for your projects. Okay, so up here you can see I have quite a few projects, and there's even like a little arrow that will let me sort of scoot through all of my projects. Well, really not all of my projects. If I wanted to view them all, I have to choose view all, and you can see I have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of projects. So if you're concerned that you're going from Explore to a Maker or Explore to an Air 2 or something, and that your projects would not be saved, or if you have a Joy for that matter, and you created some projects and you want to make sure that they're available on the Maker, they are, because they're all connected based on your ID. Your ID, okay? So, for instance, if I created something like, the unicorn ornaments, which we did this morning, I created that on the Joy and I saved it to the cloud, but I can still access it on my Maker, okay? Now, otherwise, what you would do is, let me go back to new to the canvas. You can just start right here and start with your Maker. Now this can be a little frightening if you're just starting to just see this big old blank screen. So do not, hi Shelly, do not get like frightened, because there are a lot of things that you can do from this point, especially if you're brand new to the Cricut. So what you want to try to do is you want to go over here to the left hand side where it says projects and click on that. These are dozens and dozens of pre-made projects just for you that you can make with your machine. There are some that, does computer type matter? No. My computer is Apple. It's Apple based, but this works with Windows. Yes, absolutely works with Windows. It also will work with your mobile phone, and that includes Android and iPhone. The only exception is the iPad. Some tablets will work, and I've heard people say that they use their tablets to run Design Space, but I've never tried that. So, but you do not need to have, you use an HP laptop. Okay, so here's our answer. Shirley says she uses an HP laptop, so that's a Windows-based, and an iPad, which is Apple-based, and then an Android phone, which is Android-based. So she uses all three, and she works out really well. Right. Chromebook is the other thing that does not work out too well. So if you do have a Chromebook, you may need to switch to another operating system. But it does work really well with the phone and the iPad. The only thing that's different, though, with the phone and the iPad is it's different software. You just have to go to the App Store if you have an iPad or an iPhone and download Design Space for your phone, and that's different than this software that I'm showing you. Okay, so these are all the projects that we have amassed, or that the Cricut folks have amassed, and these include different things that people have made in our community. So you'll see some things like, for instance, this really adorable Joy to the World vertical sign. This is by Deborah Bauer, and she made this vertical sign, and these are the graphics that are used within the sign. And if you wanted to, you can just hit make it. I don't generally just hit make it with a project because I want to pick apart the project and make my own changes, but you could certainly just make it, especially if the description included all kinds of what you needed and all of that. But in this event, I'm going to choose the one to the left of it, which says customize. And what it will do is it brings me to the mat, and here is my design. Now it happens to be all the way over here, so I'm just going to move them. She had it set up over there, and all I did was make my screen smaller to move it. But see how she did it? She set it up, but she didn't. This, I think, is just a regular person that does that works on her Cricut. So she didn't group these together. So she's going to cut them all out individually and place them, not like the vertical signs we've done in the past, where it all comes all together. So that is projects. So some of these projects are done by Cricut people, and some of them are done by just people in the community that make them. And you can usually tell the ones that are done by the Cricut community, and you can also do certain categories. So if you want to get some ideas for, say, Christmas, you can choose the Christmas category, and here you go. There's just dozens and dozens of projects that you can do using this project section. So let's choose this one, which is an Anna Griffin candy cane card. And it tells you, this is done by the Cricut team, and it tells you all the materials that you're going to need, including the materials that are going to get cut. And it gives you some sort of assembly instructions. And then as you scroll past that, it tells you the images and fonts that are used in this project. So if you are really, really new and you want to do these awesome projects, this is a way for you to sort of get your feet wet and do a project without having to start from scratch. But if you wanted to start from scratch, we could recreate this, and I can show you how to do that. And that's actually what I do on a daily basis with Cricut Chat. But in this case, if we just hit customize, we can come here and it's going to replace that joy. And here is our card. It comes with an envelope. If you don't know me that well, I generally don't cut out envelopes. I just use basic pre-made envelopes, but we have a really pretty card that is layered. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, and it has, this is the inside layer. And then you can put this holiday greeting on the front and this little candy cane on your envelope. You can also add a sentiment to this to sort of make it your own. You can even foil with the new foil transfer kit. And that's something that's a totally different thing. But just so you know, the possibilities of working with a pre-made project are pretty wide. So you can take a project and just, if you only saw one little piece of it that you liked, you can just grab it and then make your own project. And then when you were done, you would actually go to save and do save as, and you'd save it as your whatever you wanted to call it. So I'm going to call this the candy cane card. All right. So it's now going to be part of my design space. I took it from projects, but now I have my own version in my design space. And if I go up to projects, you will see that here it is. And that way you can come back and play with it later on. Okay. So just before I get really too deep in the weeds here, I just want to tell you that if you got a brand new machine, you do not need to fret. I know there's a lot of people that get the machines and they keep them in the box because they're like, I'm not ready for that. But from the first half hour that you have the machine out of the box, you could be making stuff and you could be really feeling proud of yourself. And you'll be like, wow, I can't believe I made that. And you'll start, your creative energies will be going. So the first step, as I always say to everyone that I meet, is to take the machine out of the box. And then from there, it will be some trial and error. And if you join a group, I have a group called Miss Rita to the Rescue Community Group, but there are lots and lots of groups on Facebook. There are lots of tutorials on YouTube, as well as I also have a YouTube channel. It's called Miss Rita to the Rescue. Or you can join our morning chat, which is at 9:00 every morning, Monday through Friday, and then also Saturday night at 7:00. And we do live tutorials, and I present 5 or 6 projects a week. And for instance, this morning we did unicorn ornaments, and I show you all the different machines from the Explorer to the Joy to the Maker. And so there's a whole lot of help out there in the Facebook world. And so don't feel like you need to be afraid of this. It's so much fun. And everybody that I encounter, they're like, wow, I really love that machine. It's so amazing. It does amazing things. And so I want you to get that same feeling of how incredible it is to create these really professional looking projects with your machine, and that you did. And you can say, this is your secret weapon. This is our secret weapon for creating some really amazing things. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can find me at Miss Rita to the Rescue, and I have literally hundreds of videos that are usually between 20 minutes to 40 minutes long, and it usually goes over one in particular program, so you can scroll through and find whatever it is that you're looking for. And so if you have a question, say about cutting vinyl, or you want to know about infusible ink, there you can find it on my YouTube channel. So anyway, if you're lucky enough to get a new machine, good luck. Get it out of the box and get started. And we're here to help you. I have a lovely group of friends that will help you along with it within the chat and also in the group. So feel free to just reach out and say, help, I need some help on this or that, and people will guide you through it. So it's not just me, it's a community of great people that are going to help you through this. And I apologize if you're new, if you're hearing my dog Teddy Bear. I'm not usually on this time of day, and this is when all the people deliver packages. So he's chit-chatting and saying hello to all the neighbors coming home for the day. All right, everyone. If happy to see you tomorrow, and we are going to have fun tomorrow. What are we doing? I think we're doing a mistletoe kissing ball tomorrow. So I hope you'll join me at 9 o'clock on Cricut Chat, which is live on Facebook, 9 a.m. You go to Miss Rita to the Rescue page and you can catch it from there. I'm a real person. I am absolutely a real person, and my dogs do bark, and I do apologize. They can be a little bit barky sometimes. But anyway, thanks everybody, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning. And we have a storm coming, and I can tell. So I'm going to go and get ready for that storm. You don't have anybody to kiss. You can kiss yourself, Shirley. Do you have an animal? Because I kiss my dog. So that's who I kiss. And it will have a little fun. I always just like those kissing balls. I know we're not supposed to be kissing anybody this time of year, but or right now. But it's a really nice thing that you can have for future years when you can kiss people, or animals, guinea pigs, and kitty cats. Yeah. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you again tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Bye.